This segment sponsored by Viking Psychiatry. Each Tuesday, we will be diving into mental health topics that are so important. And I'm so excited to be joined by Sean Goddard, who is the owner of Viking Psychiatry. Hi, Sean.
Hi, it's great
Welcome.
to be here. Thank
Yes. Okay, so I am so thrilled about this series. We know that mental health is something that impacts so many people. And just diving into the topics more and learning tools and resources is what this segment's all about.
Absolutely.
Yes. Okay, so today we're going to dive into depression. So that is something that people experience, whether they are currently suffering from it or they have bouts of depression. But something that's so interesting is that there's no cure. It's just rather someone going into remission, right?
Absolutely. Wouldn't it be great if we could get a cure, right? But there is no cure, but there is remission. And that's one of the things that we really want to be able to do for people is help them identify, because our history in psychiatry, we don't have a whole lot of success with causing remission or long-lasting remission, right? And it feels great to lose 50 pounds, right? But then all of a sudden you gain that weight back, or sometimes even more weight, and it can really pull you down. And that's kind of what happens with depression sometimes, right? We get to feel better for a little bit, but then it comes sneaking back up on us like that weight, and then we begin to feel sometimes even worse. And that's what we want to be able to help prevent for folks.
So just taking a step back into depression and the root of it. Through your experience, what have you found to be the different causes that could spiral up depression? For everybody it's different, right? There is no one identifying factor, I think, right? My depression could be completely different than your depression and what causes it, right? People can be doing extremely well in life. I actually just had a client yesterday who said, I should be happy and I'm not, and I don't understand why, right? And so there's, chemical causes, organic causes. People talk about the gut-brain connection, right? And whether our gut's unhealthy, our brain's unhealthy. There's genetics. We know that it's been proven in studies that we carry generational traumas with us, right? And so there's a lot that can be connected there. But sometimes I think the biggest problem is identifying that you have depression, because on TV, they often show somebody laying on the couch with a bunch of tissues around them and food piled up all around them. And the thing is, depression doesn't often really present that way. Right. That is so true. Because I think about that commercial where someone's walking, a woman's like doing her daily life, and she has this cloud over her head. And it's like heavy and it's there, but it's like, why? And what is it? Or a commercial where there's like a woman walking around with the happy face, like over, but really she's sad underneath it. And it's a disguise. And so let's talk about some of the symptoms. So people may not know that they have it, but what could be indicators that depression is lingering there?
Yeah, so one of the things that we really look for, the medical term is anhedonia, right? But it means a lack of joy, right? And so do you have hobbies?
Yes.
What's one of your hobbies?
I love to cook.
You love to cook?
Love to cook, yes.
We have many things in common then, because I do as well. I make a mean red beans and rice, and I really love cooking, right? And so I cook often, especially for other people. That gives me a lot of joy. Now, if all of a sudden I notice that I don't like to get in the kitchen as much, I don't find as much reward from it, or I go in and I do it, and it's more of a task for me now instead of that joy that it used to be, right? I'm beginning to find that the things that used to make me happy, that used to bring me joy, don't bring me joy anymore. And that's something that we really look for. That's a key part of it. In life today, it's so busy. It's go, right? It's hard to be a single income family. It's always go. We're being wound up all day long trying to live life, and then we come home and we try to relax and we let go of that winder and we shoot off across. Our brains going a million miles an hour because we can't relax. And with depression, people often begin to feel a lack of energy, right? A lack of motivation, no desire to move forward. I'm just going through the process, right? And so we often see that we're just doing the bare minimum to get through. And so we can see sleep issues. And the thing is it can be different for me or for you. Like, for example, I could have trouble going to sleep. I can't shut my brain off, right? And I just can't go to sleep. While for you, you might wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning and never be able to go back to sleep. Or the opposite, you go go to sleep and then you sleep all morning long, right? And then you don't want to get up and you're missing the alarm clock and you hit snooze 22 times, right? Because there's just no desire to get up. So it really can be different for everybody.
And that's good, because sometimes people will relate those issues to other problems.
Absolutely.
Like having insomnia. Yes, that is a diagnosis, but what is the reason, perhaps? And maybe depression is the underlying reason. And what I think is important for us to talk about also is the stigma behind it. Like, it's okay if you're not okay. It's okay not to be okay. And I think that over the years, especially generationally, race-wise, and just different households viewed mental health as such a problem. But everyone goes through something, right?
Yes, absolutely. You know, I say it all the time, and we've talked about myself with my personal past, right, and growing up in the system. And, you know, I struggle with mental health as a child and as an adolescent, and then myself as an adult. I went through a severe bout of depression, and I didn't even recognize it at that time, right? This was when I was still in school, a severe bout of depression that really almost completely changed my life, or potentially cost me my career, because that's what it can do. Mental health sneaks up on you, but then people are afraid often to ask for help or get help or even lean on the person next to them who's in the house, because maybe their belief is depression's not real, right? Mental health isn't real. You just buck up, right? Get out there, do it. You know, and those things are not correct. I think one of the best things that came out of COVID was the reduction of the stigma associated with mental health, because when we all got put on lockdown, right, and everything that we were so used to was suddenly taken away from us, a lot of people became depressed, or their depression that was being suppressed, right, suddenly came to the forefront. And so if you had diabetes and your blood sugar was too high, we would give you something for that, right? If your blood pressure is too high, we're going to give you something. And there's nothing wrong with you, right? Maybe you need to diet or exercise or lose weight, but you're not broken. But for some reason, if we're sad, or we can't shut our brain off and we're super anxious, right? Or we can't concentrate in school, well, we're a problem child. We're a problem coworker or employee because you have no drive or energy or motivation. And really, what it needs to be, it's not that they're a problem. What they need is they need our love, our attention, our support, and our help, so that they can become the individual that they're supposed to be. Because we should be living life. And often we don't get to actually live. We're just going through the motions.
Oh, that's so good. You just touched on everything so perfectly, because that is true. I have asthma. I need an inhaler. So if you have something else going on with you, then you have to go and get the proper medicine, the proper treatment for it. And so I'm so thrilled, as we continue this series next week, we're going to dive into different treatment options and things that you have to offer at your facility for depression. But before we go today, can you give a little message of hope? If someone's watching and they are currently going through depression, or they're like, how can I get out of this? What would you say to them?
I would say the first step is just reaching out, right? Whether it's with us, whether it's with the person next to you, a loved one, a hotline, right? Taking that first step, it's, you know, pushing that little rock down the hill that then spins and becomes an avalanche and picks up more as it goes along. And taking that first step can often be hard. But once you do take that first step, it absolutely can be life-changing. And at Viking Psychiatry, that's what we want to be able to do. We want to be able to provide life-changing treatments, but also, whether with us or anybody, just seek the help and get the help, because you deserve it. You deserve to be happy and to live and enjoy life.
Oh, that's great. Thank you so much, Sean.
Thank you.
As he said, you deserve to be happy and to live life. So continue on with us, this mental health series with Viking Psychiatry every Tuesday. And if you would like more information about Viking Psychiatry, we'll have their website listed below, and I'll see you after the break. This segment sponsored by Viking Psychiatry.